And where it looks like we're starting with a new character, maybe? Some sort of Asian setup, it looks like. Looks like we're executing people, that's right. So it looks like I gotta talk to the temple servant. Your client is meeting an important temple servant. You should stay close. So that must be me. A tall temple servant is commanding the guardsmen. Many in the crowd whisper his name. Nakoma. Count Pelko Satori approaches him, arms wide open. Finally, you're here. How was the journey, Your Holiness? What's new? What news? Would you like to rest or begin the festivities immediately? Have you considered my request? Sheathe your sword. Turn to face the Count. Remain impassive. I'm a bodyguard, so I feel like I should just remain impassive. The Count notices your lack of reaction and balls his fingers in anger. That doesn't sound good. No need to fret, Count. The 3rd Legion is already on the march. You should let fate do the work when considering the command of the 3 legions. Other commanders might suffer from falling sickness, or the tents could be attacked by bandits. Do you follow me? Surprise. Does the temple permit such tricks of fortune? And how should I pursue a fate such as this? Will the temple advise me? The temple of divine wrath only instills anger, so heed my advice. Turn your head slightly, ignore the conversation. Listen in, I guess? If the icons are as adept as they say, then here is the solution. Your bodyguard will do anything you wish, unless, of course, it's not in his contract. Everyone knows that I have an icon in my service. They'll know it was me. Besides, I do not want to lose a bodyguard of his caliber. They say an icon is worth 50 Parisian warriors money-wise. This is certainly true. Your icon can bring you your 3 legions more easily than a servant bringing a chamber pot. Test him if in doubt. I like this sort of entertainment. If your bodyguard slays, say, a dozen or 2 Parisian guards, I'll turn a blind eye. You're absolutely still. A premonition touches you like a breeze, but your inner peace is undisturbed. You are always ready for whatever happens. Lo Pang, stay here. I need to speak to His Holiness in private. Worry not. I'll be safe in Nakoma's company. Meanwhile, make sure everything is in order. Oh shit, I didn't know I could click these guys' names. This Count, representing the Royal House of Gordon, is a graduate of the Gordon Page Corps. The King's Herzog and Gordon's chosen Chamberlain, the Burgomaster and Steward, and Master of the County of Wodan. He participated in the Baldarian War, is a special messenger of the Temple of the Divine Wrath, is an honored parishioner of the Wodan congregation, and is a custodian of the Frisian Guard 3rd Legion. He has been awarded an engraved weapon, golden garters, and bronze table clock, and also recognized as a military commander of the Heaven-blessed Fragga. Okay. The records of the White Book of the Serpents say, I wonder how much I've been missing by not clicking on these guys, that he's a warrior of peace and honor because he is a true icon and does not oppose the natural order. He is a guard of higher initiation who has the perception of an ideal being. Each gesture, even a mere movement of his eyes, can carry restraint, aloofness, tranquility, ease, or a deadly threat. Lo Pang is a dormant hurricane, never missing anything, and not making his presence known unnecessarily. He makes his own decisions instead of relying on another's. While While remaining faithful to his clan and ancestors, he chose the hardest path of the Shadow Clan, the path of involvement. He is a warrior and a defender, a killer and an avenger. He is one with the strength to do what is necessary. He is the one who knows and achieves his purpose, no matter what path he takes. The commendation letter says he is an elite guard and unsurpassed master of combat. The contract lasts 3 years and can be broken in case of Wopang's death unless there are conditions included in a secret addendum. Nod. A satisfied grin blooms across the Count's face. He has interrupted your nod as a bow, it seems. He has interpreted your nod as a bow, it seems. This day last year, 2 murderers were tortured to death in a city square. This year brings many more victims, but they look nothing like murderers. The executioner. People recoil at the scrawny brown-robed inquisitor. You should take a closer look at him. It seems that the ungainly fellow is an executioner. He is in conversation with an old inquisitor, clad in black robes bearing the sign of the temple. The man appears to outrank him, but the executioner will preside over the coming festivities nevertheless. The executioner checks the steel spike protruding from the wall and then looks into a tin box. Argren, damnation! Why did we drive this herd to Wodan? You can only hang 10 people at a time here. Do you mean to drive the rest back? The older man rummages through the canvas bag. Did you plug your ears when I went over the details? We slaughter a dozen, maybe 2 dozen here. The rest we drive further. We're working for a grand cause, Mel. The ears. By the way, don't forget the ears. Peek into Mel's box, examine the executioner's dais, peek into Algren's bag, remain impassive. I feel like the box is just going to be torture implements. I don't know what the dais is. Maybe let's peek into this guy's bag. You sneak a peek into the Inquisitor's bag. The contents seem to be full of powder, gemstones, and gold. The bag is full of dried women's ears, earrings still attached. The Inquisitor's insignia encrusted a large strict stones lies on top. Mel giggles. I remember your collection. What should I cut off that's different? Noses, perhaps? As for a grand cause, I'm happier arranging smaller affairs, smaller and sweeter. Algren laughs. Don't tell me. I saw you drool, slicing a wench from breast to crotch. Ugh. Just to see her guts spill. Just wait for it. You'll soon have your way. We'll slay by them by the hundreds. Mel blissfully closes his eyes. So all this talk about opulent Percana is not just gossip. By the way, it's a long way to go. Many won't make it. Still, there's not like fresh meat. Mel rubs his hands together. You wonder why anyone would drive prisoners toward war. Usually it would be the opposite. Inquisitor. The old man fidgets in the cart, muttering beneath his breath. Do you really need to bother him? I kinda want to. That girl wants to talk to me. Let's swing by the Inquisitor. Before you can approach the old man, Nakoma beats you to the punch. Yet Wodan is an ancient fortress. If you stand in the square at a specific point, conversations can be heard at a distance. Nakoma nods in your direction. Did you ever torture a man from the Shadow Clan, burn him with hot irons, cut his sinews? They say these men feel no pain. The Inquisitor shrugs. Icons are not really human. Rumor has that you can cut a child into pieces in front of an icon, and unless he was hired to protect the child, the warrior of the Shadow Clan won't so much as blink. It is said they have no hearts. Nakoma smirks scornfully. As if you had a heart. Will you flinch if you have to butcher a child? How many have you disemboweled already? Perhaps we have something in common with warriors of the Shadow Clan. I'd love to see that one in action. Show Nakoma that you've heard everything. Show Algren that you've heard everything. Remains serene. Walk away. I feel like this guy would keep to himself, so let's remain serene. Nakoma meets your eye, but you look right through him into the void. The old man coughs. I have a heart, your holiness. On occasion, it even aches a bit. When you lived as long as I, yours will too. What do you think? Will we defeat Bergana this time? Nakoma pats the old man on the shoulder. Soon you will see everything for yourself. All we need to do is spill some blood, a great deal of blood in proper place. Wodan is only the beginning, Algren. Alright, see what the red-haired girl has to say. Haggard, foul-smelling prisoners are pressed against the wall. The red-haired girl does not look traumatized, though she certainly is. A guardsman drags a scrawny old man from the crowd. You lose sight of her for a moment. More women stand behind the red-haired girl, but she alone watches you. You remain calm and impassive, even when she calls out to you in Icon. The red-haired girl is definitely not Icon. If she were, you would have been forced to abandon your service and save your kin. Nothing else can interfere with your services to Pelko Satori, who pays you so well. Hey warrior, my name is Reet. Can you feel what's happening? It's not time you remembered your... Is it not time you remembered your duty? You remain silent. Your inner peace is absolute. Open your eyes. That temple servant is not human. It's a reaper in human form. So what? Enough of your tales. Do not deploy. I actually want to hear what she has to say. Maybe if I don't reply, she'll keep talking. You are warrior peace. Nothing should disrupt you from your inner calm. You should go with the flow of life, not stand midstream like a rock. The girl cannot unnerve you. As you leave, she hisses hatefully. Damn you, you have no idea. The reaping is coming. The reaping. I want to know what... Alright, so I did this last time, and it just ended the conversation. So I thought it was going to be silent, so she'd keep talking. So I want to actually know what she says. So I'll do, so what? Think of the law of the clan. If a reaping begins, you shall serve your clan only. You should fight the reapers wherever they appear. The law of the Shadow Clan binds you to oppose the reaping and the reapers. Do you remember your duty? No one understands what the red-haired prisoner is screaming about, but the guardsmen dare not shut her up. Nakoma's eyes are daggers. She knows something she should not. Still, none can foretell a reaping. You do not have to believe me, but today is the day. The reaping is nigh. What makes you think so? How do you know the law? No one can foretell the reaping. I have heard your words. What makes you think so? Innocent people will be led to the slaughter today. Is this Frisia's rule? Frisia is cruel. I am not surprised, but it is not my concern. How do you know the law? Does it matter who speaks the truth if truth is still spoken? You are too young to lecture me. No one can foretell the reaping. You are a warrior of peace, are you not, Icon? Yes, I can read your face. You look closer at Nakoma, and you feel life freeze beneath his feet. He's a reaper, brimming with power. I have the sight to see this. Osiris would not allow herself to be captured. I have heard your words. You may think of me as foolish, but please be vigilant. To your client, you're just fodder, much like us. Remain silent. The warrior's code of the Shadow Clan prescribes inner calm, otherwise you are useless. They receive substantial sums of money from the Count Pelko Satori. You turn around and find Nakoma staring straight at you with a contemptuous grin. Nakoma. He gives you a sign. You hear screams and choice swear words behind your back. The guards have picked up the girl Reet and carry her to the dais. The temple servants watches you closely. You stand beside Pelko Satori. He is unfazed by the muffled howls of the prisoners, the grumbling of the crowd, or the smoke from the executioner's braziers. In fact, he is almost triumphant. What will you do, Lopang? Knowing that the Frisian official plots my death, what if he plans to send assassins after me? You know the answer? Give me a name. Just planning. I know nothing. There are two officials fighting for command in the Legion entrusted to me by the Temple. They'll be at each other's throats once I'm dead, but that's not exactly comforting now, is it? The legions are already on march, but neither commander has joined them yet. One of them has just passed through the Galleon Trail. The other is a bit ahead of him. Their entourage is not numerous. You will manage. May I return once I'm done? You exclude other threats. Who will protect you while I'm away? May I return once I'm done? A threat may not be obvious. You exclude other threats. Who will protect you while I'm away? Since that's my job, I feel like I should be asking him that. Let's do that. You are worried about the contract? Fear not. You are carrying out my orders. I want to test you first. Here's a wretch who dared scorn his holiness. The red-haired scum mocked him all the way to Wodan Killer. If I become commander of the three legions, I will double your pay. For an Icona clan's word is law, even if the clan breaks the law. That makes it sound like I'm supposed to kill her. I am no executioner. I'm confused at what this guy's supposed to be. Am I supposed to be just like this mindless slave that goes around doing anything for money for my clan? Or am I supposed to be like this noble guy fighting the reaping? I'm kind of confused at what this guy's backstory is. You know, it's supposed to be this peace serene, monkish warrior. I'm not quite sure. But I'm no executioner. I shall slay anyone sent to kill you, however many there are, but I am not an executioner. Cunningly narrowing his eyes well, I kind of remember this. Pelko Satori always gets what he wants, regardless of what's written in the contract, you'll see. Parisians are cunning. They pay the sons of the Shadow Clan handsomely for their services, but they easily go back on their word. You expect it. You are ready for them, but as the tortured redhead asked, are you ready for the truth? Silence falls over the square. The spread-eagled wrenches on the wall freeze in anticipation of their dreadful fates. The only sounds are the clinking of the executioner's instruments laid out on the bench and the flapping banners over the burgomaster's head. Choose not to watch the execution, watch the executioner, watch the prisoners. Let's watch the prisoners. The prisoners at the foot of the wall can barely stand. Few men, only the very old and very young. Few men, only the very old and very young remain. The mostly female crowd falls to the ground, horrified at hearing the anguished cries of the old man being tortured. Then the redhead begins to sing. She weaves a temple hymn, making rich and poor alike bare their heads. Her voice peals across the square, resonating as if under a vaulted ceiling. Everyone stands transfixed by the melody, moved to tears, searching for something within themselves. So that's the Inquisitor, the Temple guy, or my master. Let's look at the Inquisitor. You spot Ogren beside his dais. He looked like a dead, crooked tree. He stoops over his canvas bag as if lamenting its contents. Guardsmen helmets are removed, sharp blades are lowered, the prisoners and overlookers weep uncontrollably. You follow the temple service cannot end in an execution. It is forbidden. As this forms, a reaper appears. Something resembling a bloating gray corpse with a greasy black mane emerges from the yard in front of the gate. It moves toward the dais, determined to end the song. According to the Temple Canon, he is one of the Reapers. He is defined by a thick bush of black hair tied in a ribbon, his ashen gray body, and a face that looks like a skull wrapped in skin. He fights with a giant bident made of gray metal. He's sometimes seen carrying a sword made from the same material. He occupies a third position in the hierarchy of the messengers, driving out the divine retribution. Oh, these are all different guys, so that's not the one that I saw in the beginning of the game. A creature of immeasurable might, strength, and rotten nature. He reveals in others' suffering and the death and destruction of... He revels in others' suffering and the death and destruction of villages. You draw your sword. Oh, what is this shit now? So... got some archers. Reaper's power increases your health 6 when you kill an enemy. Reaper's attack. Wow, he's got a lot of health. Causes to all enemies. So I feel like I gotta take out the archers. What does my guy do? Protection from knockback. You will launch a counterattack if possible. 15 damage to health and reduces enemy attack by 1. Increases your energy by 2. Deals 30 damage and health to all adjacent enemies. Sunburn. Wait, deals 60 damage to health and reduces your defense by 6, or 9. Dry tar on the lips increases your energy by 2, damaging all damages received. Cloud Tower. Increases your defense by 40. Does not end your turn. Okay, so these are buffs to me. Yeah, so this has taken me several times to figure out how to do it. So if you just focus these guys down, these guys will all move around, but they can't actually attack you. So just keep sniping these guys down. And he goes last. Alright, then we'll come up here. Do that. And then turn. He's gonna come and attack me. You're gonna come over here. You're gonna soul burn him. What? That was not supposed to happen. Alright. Let's do that. And attack. You kill this guy. Nice. That was hella tough. That took me lots of times to figure out how to beat that one. Probably 3-4 times before I was able to do it successfully. I wonder if I would have gotten more kills if I would have got that, or if I got all the experience for everybody anyways. I'm not sure which. Killed by your blow, the monster turns into a wisp of fog. Sacred Strix set into the steel of your blade sizzles and burns out. The mystery is solved. This is what made the Reaper vulnerable. A strange weakness washes over you, making you stagger. Did the monster curse you? Your eyes meet Reek's. She has been a hard nut to crack. 2 swings of your sword is enough to cut the ropes that bind her. The moment you set her free, she rushes to the other prisoners. What follows is not your responsibility. The road leads to the Isle of the Shadows, but now... lead the Isle of Shadows now, but first you need to overcome the strange weakness. Many generations of warriors live their lives knowing that if a reaping comes, they will have to oppose the Reapers. Whoever cuts even one of them down should bring news of it to the Shadow Clan. Your service to Pelko Satori is over.
In the first days of the Great Disaster, you rushed to a backwater town on the edge of a Burkanan kingdom. This time, it seems the dice rolling on the game board will be carved out of your bones.
You'd hurried like never before, leaving ravines and mountains passes behind, taking narrow paths now buried by snow. Yet still you didn't make it to Albinus before the spring equinox. The towers of the city are already visible, and you can hear the ring of the bell, the roaring of the Manaz River. What could this black water Dallin town have done to incur the god's wrath? Why, Albinus, there are dozens of other towns that looked exactly like it. Is there some secret motive? You're filled with an overwhelming sense of foreboding. The stench of death fills your nostrils. Everything is just as Amma predicted, except one seemingly impossible truth that at the moment only you know, the immortal has indeed resisted a Reaper, both here in Albinus and in the faraway Parisian city of Wodan. You reach the town walls. The bell peals incessantly. Black smoke swirls ahead, and the stench of burning flesh is your nostril. Could it be a plague? Why are the guards at the gate wearing Dranan uniforms? This is still an Odalin kingdom. Huh? Vagabond. Masham, a lieutenant of the Royal Guard, a master of the Border Guard, a hardened warrior, marching sergeant, and mentor to Jaranan patrols. The citizen of Jarana is a great fencer. He was and was given a special Jaranan guard pennant and an engraved weapon with a leather scabbard. He began his service as a sailor boy on the 3rd ship of the Royal Fleet and was decorated for long and distinguished service. A vagabond? Damn it. Why is it never a damsel? Hey, daydreamer, snap out of it. Do you have any paperwork? Alright, let's see. Looking as you go through the papers, nice to meet you, Baron Rowley. Call me Mushman. I am the commander here. And you? Oh my, you're a healer and a baron? A scribe too? What brings your grace all the way to Albinus? Hopper. According to the temple book of Raidana, he is a baron and a liege man of the king of Raidana. He came from Rowley village near Ekin and is the only child of an impoverished baron who was killed 50 years ago along with the rest of the village during the attack of the Polanians. According to the census list, this man doesn't have any property rights over ancestral land and is therefore exempt from land or property taxes. He is a carrier of the King of Odala's letter, which gives him a right to perform common magic ceremonies. He also carries a letter from the King of Jarana, allowing him to write chronicles and chronology as well as a letter of the King of Isana for collecting and studying ancient manuscripts. Hopper Rowley joined the King of Pert's clerkship and was commended by the King of Jabona for his efforts to subdue a cholera outbreak in 992. He has no permanent home and chooses to travel the roads of Burkana in 990. An inquest into the veracity of his noble lineage based on claims of a distant kinship stopped because Hopper Rowley renounced his inheritance entitlement and dual ownership. Nothing until you let me into the city. I am no baron either. Call me Hopper. You sound like a Jaranan commander. What are Jaranan guards doing in an Odalan town? The kingdoms of Burkana are still peaceful, I hope, although this does not concern me. Just grant me entry. I'm in a bit of a rush. Let's ask him why. Guarding, of course. There's already trouble on the western borders. Is that where you came from? I came down from the mountains. I've been to Vale of Mercy, but took a mountain passes to make it here before the snow melted. I didn't even have time to visit Opacium. I believe that there is a Burkanan garrison in Opacium. Opacum? I'm not sure which. Count Bichdi is in command. He wouldn't have let a healer leave his side. As for the locals, the reaping has begun. Well, nearly. Man, I wish my voice was stronger. COVID's knocking me down. Well, it makes sense. He has a reaping begun or not. Can you tell me what's going on? Why do I smell burning human flesh? Do you replace the bell ringer often? So this is the reaping? Alright. Why do I smell burning human flesh? Does it stink? Really? I don't smell a thing. Gotten used to it, I suppose. Gotten used to it. What took getting used to? Should I turn tail and run? Is there anywhere to hide? Anyhow, a monster appeared, sealed a gate, and used its, magiry. Or sorcering. The folks in the town started beating each other to a pulp. It wore off just like too much drink does. That's when we came to the rescue. Smirking, the nobles fear the plague, so we're burning corpses. Almost everyone in the town has ulcers on their neck, and the temple servants are applying some kind of ointment to relieve the pain. It seems as though the reaping has begun, but with slower momentum. Stumbled, you say? taking its very first step? I've examined various manuscripts and none of them mention anything like this. Do you replace the bell ringer often? You don't like the tune? Doesn't bother me, I've gotten used to it. Or are you after the job? I'll consider it, if the pay's decent, but I don't like the noise. Hasn't the bell ringer gone deaf yet? The locals say that if not for the bell ringing, there'd be many more corpses by now. Looks like the ringing brought some of the crazies to their senses, not instantly, but the sound broke through whatever was clouding their minds. As for the bell ringer, not my responsibility. Is it ringing by itself then? Well, never mind. No use trying to fill in other shoes. So, is this the reaping or not? What else could it be? I can't be sure. But I trust my gut. The reaper, the plague, the signs, it all fits. Oh my. You've seen a reaper? Every ancient manuscript I've seen says that everyone collapses in the presence of a reaper. Manuscripts. What do I care for your manuscripts? When a reaper came, the townsfolk fell flat on their faces, some passed out, but this one merchant was sharper than the others. He saw something. Do you think our detachment coming here was a coincidence? I admire your effort, Masham. You say you're a talker, but really haven't said too much. You've been listening intently this whole time, but I've nothing to hide. I am what I am, a scribe, a book lover, and a healer. A jack of all trades, really. That's enough chit-chat for now. I agree, I don't have all day. You're not a beautiful lass, so we're done chit-chatting. Welcome to Albinus. Looking around. Why summon the guards? Did I offend you? Not with defenses as good as mine. Thing is, I have orders. If I were to see a scribe at the gate, I am to send them to the Cardinal Coranzon. Why, well, that's none of my business. Pondering. Did you say Coranzon? I used to know a man by that name. Nodding to the guards. If you're the Cardinal's good friend, you might have had better luck than our prince. Those two don't get along, you see. My men will escort you. Goodbye for now.
The town looks glum in the aftermath of the tragic events. The reaping has indeed begun. You barely have enough time to look around as the guards briskly lead you to the town square.
You arrive at the town hall with an escort of guards. One of them, a tall, hulking man, stands behind as others leave. He sizes you up, then points to the entrance of the nearby shop. He obviously wants you to go there. The ear-splitting peals of the bell make you wonder if the Cardinal still stands. How the Cardinal stands it. Aki? As you take in the town hall, the guard takes stock of your horse. My name's Aki. He says, if Masham's got it right, you're Hopper Rowley, a peculiar man, a book lover, healer, and baron. Talk to Aki. You face the giant warrior, smiling your friendliest smile. Why does your horse wait for you by the tent like a dog? Is it trained or something? Does it bark on command too? No bark, I'll bite. Just keep that in mind. Be careful with this beast. With disapproval, like I need that horse of yours. It's too scrawny. My feet would scrape the damn ground if the horse doesn't buckle under me first. Look after her, Aki, and you shall see that I pay my debts. I haven't lent you a thing, and I'm not gonna. Your horse ain't going anywhere, and neither are you. You're not leaving the town till you've spoken with the Cardinal. He and the priest argued about that, actually. Trag's glum because of the temple seized the right to inspect all scribes and mages coming to town. Gateway. There's a faint trace of battle magic in the back of the alley. Who could that have left that? The tent. The prince stands in the tent of you who should pay homage to his holiness. The bell continues to toll. Small shop. You can't avoid meeting the Cardinal. Just hope it doesn't take a turn for the worst. Let's go to the Prince's tent first, I guess. Speaking to myself, Trag, the Prince of Jarana. You don't look so worn out. You didn't look so worn out the last time I saw you. What aggravates you so, Your Highness? The beginning of the reaping, or is it the incessant ringing of the town bell? Trag. The Crown Prince, the King of Jarana's only son, became a widower early. Trag is a caring but strict father, a patient son, and a careful keeper of royal subjects' traditions, customs, and freedoms. He participated in the southern campaigns, maturing through hard battles with the Pelians and Gabonans. Trag began his service as a sailor boy on a royal ship and finished as lieutenant of a rowboat. A personal friend and confidant of all of Burkana's royal houses, he achieved fame forging a long-lasting alliance with Gabona and preventing it from siding with Frisia in a pending war, and elected commander of the United Burkanan Army and Duke of Hyborg and Friga. He is the hope and faith of Jarana and all of Burkana. Who are you? I've been told that a certain scribe has arrived in town. Would that be you? A healer, a wandering sorcerer with a license? Hopper Rowley? Your face looks familiar. Might we have met? Bowing. We met in your palace, Your Highness, 3 years ago. I had just earned my scribe's license. I spent a whole year going through your archives. Wincing, I can't remember every single palace scribe. Now, if you are a good swordsman, we could talk. I see that you do have a sword and a staff. Isn't that a bit much? What brings you to Albinus? The staff is for walking, the sword is for defense. Such are the times we live in. You can either carry a sword or someone carries your head. As to why, I got word that the reaping has almost conquered Albinus. That's why I'm here, Your Highness. Where else could a healer be in such trying strain? Curiosity got me the best to be. That's why I'm here, Your Highness. What do you mean, that's why you're here? You're starting to piss me off. Make yourself clear. Why in Terminum have you come to Albinus? It's hardly a secret, Your Highness. Just watching events unfold in the blessed lands of Burkana and writing it all down. I'm not so sure about Burkanan blessing. It looks more like a curse to me, but why Albinus specifically? Osiris told me that the reaping would begin right here, on the day of the vernal equinox. I was curious, you see, but almost couldn't make it. I had to travel a long way. Without averting his gaze from you, Osiris, was she by chance an attractive young lady, or a crone with a soul-freezing gaze? I find her beautiful. Past her prime, perhaps, but hardly old. Stumbled upon her in the Vale of Mercy. I didn't really believe her. It's better to see for oneself, so I just dropped by. The Cirrus was right. It's disappointing that she's so far away. I'd love to meet her. The reaping excites your curiosity, you say. You must be an expert on the subject. If you're as clever as you scribes pretend to be, tell me this. Was the bell ringing during the last reaping? And if it was, how did they stop it? Is there a clue on your scrolls about how to silence it? It did indeed toll, but differently, not for days. I mean, how do you even keep this up? Anyway, stopping the bell is child's play. Just get the chimesmen off the damn thing. Disappointed. Do you have any idea how many men I lost in the town hall? I don't need a scribbler. I need soldiers. So much for your usefulness. Go visit the cardinal and see if he can find you aught to do. There's a faint trace of battle magic in the back of the alleys. Who could have left it? Wondering what sorcerer might be doing in Albinus, you enter its maze of streets and follow the faint trace of magic. It leads you to a side alley where someone cast a spell several days ago. It's now clear that it was no sorcerer. Someone used a magical plague. It only makes sense. They would have been imbued with power in reap time. Blood is smeared on the pavement. It looks as though It was more than an ordinary fight. The squeaking of a door makes you turn around. Several gloomy, towering figures exiting one of the houses stop when they see you. Large sacks on their backs betrays either one of them moving out or they're common marauders. It seems like it's the latter. The thugs throw their loot on the ground and draw their weapons. Ugh. I don't want to fight another battle. Alright, what do we got here? He can attack me. Robber. Alright, let's put you back there. So deals 16 damage and increases your energy. Deals 32 damage, so okay, got it. Get me. Here. Damn, this guy's got a lot of energy. Well, I might as well just end this, I guess. Oh shit, I thought I could keep doing the circular hit. I screwed that up. You look at the corpses, frustration begins to simmer. So many soldiers are dispatched to this town, yet they only protect the princes and cardinals. Mere blocks from the town hall, daylight library robbery took place. These criminals won't harm anyone ever again. No experience, huh? That's too bad. The bell continues to toll. The chimesman is quite persistent. You regard the bell tower of the town hall, and the ringing of the bell makes you wince as it screws into your skull like the bone setter's drill. There's definitely magic at work, yet who would use it in Albinus? Oh, that's it, huh? Alright. Small shop. Speaking to himself, the cardinal, it appears, has usurped the Churland's shop, or Rask's shop, to use his most recent name. Although this cardinal takes anything he desires. And that bell absolutely ear-splitting. So you're here, Blance. And here I was, thinking not a single fly would come to this pile of dung. We have 2 flies now, including you, and once again, you're a cardinal. Coranzian? A senior temple dignitary of higher initiation, confident, and associate of the Primarch, protector of secret deeds, and overseer of the temple army. His lineage is unknown. Internal records connect Coranzian with the main temple of Isa, the capital city of Isana, but nothing else is known about the temple's senior cardinal. Some say he is a fatherless child raised by roaming monks without kith or kin. According to specious accounts, I'm not familiar with that term, of the temple servants who have gone missing, he worked as an associate of the temple's Primarch and predecessors for many years. A secret finding of the royal inquest, which was based on complaints and accusations, was that Coranzian was dangerous when participating in rhetorical and logical exercises of royalty. They considered him an acid-tongued but entertaining dialogue partner. Measures were taken to minimize interactions of said kind. So you're a vagabond again. They told me you now called yourself Hopper. I like Blance better. I've always been amazed by your passion for changing names. Only Amma stayed Amma. Your coming here is no coincidence, is it? What else did she predict? I don't know. I haven't seen her in ages. Nothing really. Only the onset of the reaping. Enough of the pleasantries. I know you want something from me. Nothing really. Only the onset of the reaping. Does that mean she hasn't lost her clairvoyance? As you can see, that's how it is. The reaping also started in Frisia, not just here. That's not your doing, is it, Karanzan? Of course not. You don't think that we sided with the Umbra, do you? We're all Umbra. Amma is, and so is Rask. He's got away, from what I've heard. Who came to Albinus? Mockingly, are you saying you don't know, Blaise? I'm surprised. You should have been the one responsible. You should have seen the one responsible for all this. Something hides these events from my sight, but I did catch a glimpse. It seems that there are two mortals, one here and one in the north. They resisted the Reapers, an unprecedented feat. One in the north, if I am not mistaken, has even managed to excarnate him. Narrowing his eyes, that can't be true. Are you certain? Certainly. Surely it was only disembodiment. He couldn't have killed him. You also feel it. You'd also feel it if an Umbra were killed. Disembodiment only. Our Reapers already attacked him twice, not in full force, or for some reason. I couldn't tell exactly, but he lost his body again. Damn it. This is a grave danger for us all. Surprisingly, you arrived just in time, Blaise. Can I count on you? That's... What is it that you can't do yourself that I can? Will you offer help in return? Shouldn't we be helping each other? Enough dawdling. Tell me what you need. Shouldn't we be helping each other? Spare me your cucking. If only we'd turned Frisia into a graveyard when we had the chance, we could have avoided this. Naturally, once we were standing in the middle of a graveyard called Burkana. The people are like cockroaches. Leave 10 alive, soon there'll be 1,000. At least they're much more efficient at getting rid of themselves than the reaping ever could be. What is it that you can't do yourself that I can? Grimacing, answer my questions. There's something odd about the reaping. It's waning. You think I'm hanging around here for fun? It's because of all the ringing. It suppresses the reaping. For whatever reason, I don't think it's anything to cheer about. If it can hinder the reaping, it could spell trouble for us too. So that's what's been bothering you truly. There's some magic to all of this, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Maybe if I'm no match for you or Annalel, but I don't believe for a moment that you're surprised. My first legions of Frisia are closing in on Burkana. Gabonians wreak havoc near the Ashen Wasteland. Gels have been sighted in the Vandal forests, and the moment we show any weakness, the Palenians are going to be at our throats. We were ready for war and the reaping, but not for the sorcery. Will you offer help in return? Wincing dramatically, saving someone again. I'd rather you ask me to kill someone for a change. It's much easier. There are enough murderers at large as it is, although you're one of them. Still, doesn't the thought of saving someone please you, even a little? I'm afraid our notions of pleasure don't match, but I hear you. I hope you'll allow me to weigh decision about any requests we make with our own scales. If so, then we have a deal. Enough dawdling. Tell me what you need. It's not that simple. A merchant named Patagang supposedly saw a woman with profound beauty before the reaping began, but no one else did. Then he saw the retired captain of the O'Donnell Guard, Thorn Brennan, with his daughter. They were talking to a reaper. Why should I care about a merchant's visions? Although the Captain Thorn did pique my curiosity, looks like he's the man I need. Why would a Reaper converse with mortals, I wonder? I don't know. Thorn's wife died first. He took his daughter and a couple of soldiers, and they scurried away. However, one of the soldiers turned out to be Prince Thrag's son. And that numbskull of a prince convinced himself that his son could only be saved with by the scribe who stops the ringing of the town bell. Alright, sorry about that, I had to cough. Is the young prince in need of rescue? Thorn is sentenced to death. A Reaper left his mark on the town gate, and our dear Churlan broke it down when he escaped. The Albinus guardsmen were clearly a bit traumatized, then Thorn goes and hacks them all to pieces. Trag's worried about his son and he wants blood. I care not for the prince, but I would like to find Thorn and talk with him, although I don't care for his possible execution either. The prince and Prince Trag would not take me seriously as a scribe anymore, so I can't promise I'll be of any help. Is Thorn aware of the prince and his squad of soldiers? Should I care? I don't give a damn about the prince. One of Thorn's companions is a bodyguard. Oh, so it is the assassin. I wondered. A lad called Sop. His head will be removed from his shoulders the moment any harm comes from the prince, and he knows it. He'll go to great lengths to prevent that. Thorn is much more inquisitive. So this stubborn captain piqued your interest as well. You think he'd fall at your feet if you appeared before him as a Reaper? Well, who knows? Or could Thorn be beheaded? Thorn will race from Menhir to Menhir until he realizes that the reaping has corrupted them all. He's already visited the first one, even entangled in with some Ences. I don't know where he's headed. The next Menhir can be found in the outskirts of Ursus. Ences are dangerous foes. Thorn's able to go toe-to-toe with them. He didn't earn the rank of captain for nothing. There's hope he still lives. Being accompanied by a commander will keep the prince much safer too. You still have not explained to me what it is that you need. I want you to stop that incessant bell. It's not just Albinus that's affected by this magic. The bell tolls all through Barkana now. All by themselves, not a Chinesman in sight. All because of this one here. The Reaper didn't appear anywhere else but here. Why should I care, Karanzan? I am not unraveling someone else's enchantment. I need this body, and I've got enough problems as it is. I'll do without your help. Maybe you should get atop the town hall tower by yourself. I couldn't unweave this mysterious spell. Among the Umbra, you have the highest affinity for magic. Give me some advice at least. Several people have already perished in that cursed town hall. The bell's magic saps mortals of will and forces them to climb ever upwards. But we're different. Very well, Karanzan. But I'll only take a look. The moment I sense danger, I'm turning around and getting out of here. Alright, so I guess I'm going back to the bell tower. On the way to town hall, you're joined by Karanzan. You examine the staircase and can see that it is indeed enchanted. Luckily, the spell doesn't affect Umbra. As you try to make sense of the intricate spellcraft, Karanzan creeps up behind you and shoves you forward. You rush up the stairs against your will. The sorcery is affecting you even though it shouldn't. You must turn back, but you can't. Your feet heat you not. On the platform of the bell tower you find soldiers who got too close to the enchanted stairs. Your eyes are vacant, so you draw your sword. The guards will not attack you of their own free will, but that's no reason to get yourself killed. Barkanan's soldier. Yeah. Alright, so I gotta take those guys out. There's an archer. Alright, do something like that. Make him come to me. So it takes 3 attacks to kill him. Sheet. Alright, so who still has to go? The bell keeps tolling. The rope swings on its own under the spell's effect. Simply grabbing it should break the enchantment, but you'll be free to leave, but it's a trick. Touching the rope triggers a curse. Trusting Karanzan was a mistake, and you're about to suffer the consequences. Okay, so I guess the question is, am I going to break the curse or not? You muster up the courage to grab the rope, losing your footing. The bell tower crumbles, everything goes black, but a message burned into your mind. Follow the guided one, collect the seven parts of the wisdom, read, and be saved. Oh, I guess I don't need to make that decision. It made it for me. You wake up to someone slapping your face and then hauling you upright. You struggle to open your eyes. The first thing you see is your blackened and frozen hand, which has absorbed the full power of the curse. One look back is enough to confirm that your suspicions. The town hall bell tower has indeed been destroyed. Skill point gained 1. The curse is spreading. Stats are now lowered. Damn you, Karanzan. You scoundrel. I drag you from the rubble, and what do I get in return? Have you lost your tongue, or have no gratitude? The town hall tower is no more. You've brought it all down somehow. The store is still in one piece though, and the tolling is stopped. That kind of magic is out of my league, Karanzan. I can only tell you that it definitely kept something horrifying at bay. It still does, but now with my help, see my hand? This unknown sorcerer must have had both hands blackened. Or could it be a sorceress? No matter. A being capable of such magic can assume any form, and the spell hasn't been broken. And that's no ordinary curse on your hand. The bell must have been a decoy then, but I don't understand the enchantment's purpose. How should I know? If not for the bell tolling, the people of Albinus might have slaughtered each other. Damnation! It's your fault I got caught up in this enchantment, along with the god who knows what else. What if this blackness spreads to my heart? It hasn't yet. Enough with the weeping. The pompous nobleman is headed your way. You met my request, so I owe you one. However, if you want to ensure my goodwill, I'd suggest you find Thorn and bring him to Opacum. I want to take a look at him. Oh, here comes Prince Trag. The dream came true, scribe. The hag was right. You stopped the bell. Well, I invite you to serve in my Jaranan crown from now on. Find my son Ho and the captain who led them away, named Thorn Brennan. Save my boy and bring the captain to trial. Excuse my insolence, your highness. I only wish to understand. First, I hear about a girl of profound beauty. Now there's talk of some hag. And what of this dream? Does it pertain to your orders? I dreamt of a terrifying hag who foretold your arrival. She tried to soothe me, said you'd help. Don't grind your teeth, Karanzan. Respect the Jaranan crown. You demand respect for the crown, yet you show none for the temple. All these dreams and prophecies are pure heresy. Oh, and forget about Thorn. He's not your subject. It's not up to you to bring him to justice. Irritated, it might surprise you, monk, but I am perfectly capable of making decisions without your precious guidance. Is it too much to say that annoying the temple advisors belong on my rack? The temple is above the crown. The temple only serves Bracana. I'm not sure here. I really don't know enough about the crown. Let's do that one. I'd like to believe that, especially with war approaching the southern kingdoms. I'll say it once more, crown's on. If anything happens to Ho, Thorn loses his head. I will pray that your son makes it through this unscathed, yet I do not think that is wise to expect vengeance upon the person trying to rescue him. The gods aren't that reliable. Ending the conversation, I'd be happy to do your bidding, Your Highness. You showed kindness to me once, and it is time I return the favor. Finally, a voice of reason. I don't care if it comes from a bookworm. Thank you, Kronzon, for your prayers. And you, scribe, will have others to assist you. Alright, so it looks like we're over here. Gate. You'll have to get acquainted with your new companions before leaving Albinus. Approaching your new companions. Out of the blue, I entered the royal service and found myself some good traveling companions. Looking at a man you've yet to meet. You're a new face to me. You've probably already had the lecture on our goals and reasons, but I'd still like a proper introduction. My name is Hopper Rowley. I'm a scribe. I'm Stein. Oh, so I didn't kill you. I guess that's a good thing. Of the Albinus guards, the Durannans picked me up by a watchtower and pestered me with questions all the way here. Now they sent me to accompany you. I'm not thrilled, but it's better than arguing with Prince Trag. Subject of Odala, enlisted in its army, naval veteran and sergeant of the Watchtower Guard in his native Albinus, commended by the Odalan Fleet Commander for impeccable long-term service, and awarded with a sword and a leathered scabbard. No known charges, fine, corporal punishment, or prison sentences on record. Oh, so he's actually reliable. I was kind of getting the impression that he was not from my brief interaction earlier. I'm Stein. Let's see here. I already did that. You look as if you don't approve, Stein. Must you always escort me, Aki? Grumpily, look. I know Thorn Brennan, and I'm certain he wouldn't kill without good reason. If anything, he's trying to save the prince. I'll follow orders and find him. But in my opinion, the man is innocent. You are indeed a man of duty, following orders you disapprove of. For the time being, all you have to do is point Thorn out to me when we catch up to him. Everyone's got their own responsibilities. One of our captains thought differently, but Thorn Brennan's another story. It's a father's duty to protect his children, and protect them he will. Had it not been for the accursed reaping, Thorn might have just replaced Throbble as Burgomaster. Many noble souls have ascended the scaffold, but very few have returned. Must you always escort me, Aki? Squint. Laugh all you want, I'm keeping an eye on you. I'm quite capable of handling dozens of skells all by myself. But taking down the town hall was another thing, and don't you dare hex me, or I'll beat the living daylights out of you. Shrugging. I'm no sorcerer, Aki. The town hall was already falling apart. I just sneezed a little too hard, but thanks for the warning. You sneezed so hard that the cardinal himself waded through the rubble to get you out. That's some achievement right there. Chance rules the world, Aki. That and the strong folks like yourself, if we're lucky. Good. It's time to go. We will get to know each other along the way. Don't be frightened if anything else crumbles like the town hall. Wait a moment, book lover. His Highness told me to give you a jug of temple balm. Doesn't want you to fall ill, I guess. He's also granted you travel documents with his personal seal. Here you go. It'll make your journey easier. How curious. The prince showers us with gifts for a job that isn't even half done. Well, if that's all you have to say, let us be on our way. I forgot to read about him. Aki, a citizen of Jurana, is a titleless sergeant of the border guard, a hardened squad warrior, a marching sergeant, and a mentor to Juranan patrols. He's a senior royal guard who towers over the king. He was awarded a belt and a weapon with a leather scabbard. He participated in both the northern and southern campaigns and is many-time champion of the Brannan belt fights and oil wrestling tournaments. Aki is decorated for a long and distinguished service. His companions in arms describe him as a man with big hands and big weapons, heavy armor, and a big heart, and a great heart. This brave giant carries a great sword. He likes to fight standing alone, so he doesn't accidentally mutilate his comrades in arms during unexpected battles. As a young man, he was a bouncer for one of the Juran inns, and they still tell legends about him there. Young Trag met Aki after a giant single-handedly threw him out of that inn. Let's talk in private for a moment. We've had a long road ahead, and I need to tell you something. They say the Cardinal blessed you, so you're not just some filthy sorcerer, right? So you won't make fun of me? Tall as you are, you were forced to look up at the giant and wait for him to say something. Looking around. Thing is, whatever the hag appeared to our prince in a dream, I saw a pretty girl. The one that Patagang thought he glimpsed. Only I've never mentioned her to anybody. Why didn't you? Did you pity the girl, or was there something else? And how do we know it was the same girl? There are many pretty women in Burkana, more than anywhere else in the world, if you ask me. They make your blood race, not curdle. I'm nearly shat my britches when she came to my tent. The way she stared at me, and then she vanished into thin air. I decided it'd be best to keep silent, you know, for her appearance's sake. Why did you bring her up then? So she came to me because of you. Tell your new companion to look for signs, she said. If he values his life, he should watch and listen closely. The sign, she said, should be found in burned out coals, ruins, or a place where there is no water, or some such nonsense. Am I going to have to write this down so I remember this, or is it going to force me to go to these areas? Burned out coals, ruins, place, no water. Well, just in case, I'll write it down. Pretty sure this game's not gonna make me think that much. But I've been making some bad decisions, I think. Nonsense or not, thank you for telling me. I'll rack my brain over a way to save the prince and solve these riddles. Let's go. Your ruler can't see us leave. Can't wait to see us leave. You leap onto your saddle with plenty to think about. Clearly, Karanzan received no message. It was addressed to you. Follow the guiding one. Collect the 7 parts of wisdom. Read and be saved. God knows where the parts of wisdoms might be. This guiding one is also a mystery. It seems that there's a long road ahead. No time for a leisurely travel to the far ends of Turnimum. The reaping, the Prince Thorn and his daughter, all of them are bound together. One can only pray that there will be no need to sever this tie. Well, I assume that's the abandoned camp, but we'll go down the coal burners because it said burned out coals, and that's this one here, so I guess we'll go over there. Curse power. Doesn't tell me what that does. Stein squints and smiles. There's the Albinus Watchtower. I was on duty there when the reaping began. It wasn't until a couple of days later that the Germans came and fetched me and told me about the events. I never thought I'd return so soon. You look at the tower and notice the rider silhouetted against it. By his stature, he's an Ense. Ense. This is their time, after all. Looks like the abominations are keeping watch now. You say with a smirk, according to the ancient manuscripts, masked warriors always appear during the reaping. The giant reaches for his weapon. Abominations, you say. That's no good. Let's trash the enemy, boys. And you, book lover, stay by the tower and don't stick your neck out. While the Enses tries to escape, you ride slowly toward the tower. As soon as you dismount near the gate, you notice a small band of Enses skirting the tower from the other side. Unlike the scout, they're horseless. They must have sent him out and then left him when he didn't return. They haven't noticed you yet. Let's attack him. You don't like the idea of smoking the Enses out of the tower, and you don't want to risk having to replace your horse. Once the Enses get far away from the tower, you slick after them. The abominations don't notice you until you reach the edge of the wood. When they do, they turn around and attack you in silence. Alright, looks like I've leveled up. Ah, here we go. Mental Blast. Reduces energy by 10 to a random unit. Does not end turn. Ooh, that could be good. Because then I can stack attacks. Quick Strike deals 14 damage increases. So plus 2 to energy. Circular Cut. Circular Blade plus 2 damage. Let's go with Mental Blast. Because I feel like if I can do that, doesn't end my turn and then attack and do energy, that should effectively allow me to kill somebody pretty quickly. Alright, so what do we got here? Are you a healer? No. Increases attack by 2 and walking distance by 1 to all party members when this character dies. Okay, so he's got to be the last one to take out then. Ah, great. We've got cards. Oh, that's to a random guy? Damn it, I did not appreciate that. How far does this guy go? Let's let him walk. I think if I do that, yeah, he doesn't get a counterattack. Well, I don't really want to kill you. just gonna boost everybody else up. Alright, I think I can still kill them if I do this. Yep. That was close. After the skirmish, you return to the tower and clean yourself up with a simple spell. No need to reveal your talents just yet. Aki comes back looking smart, indicating the NC Scout is as good as dead. You nod to the giant and mount your horse. It's time to continue the journey. Miller's Track. The Dry Riverbed. H's Spring was tried out many years ago. Dry Riverbed. Well, I mean, it's a dead spring, so I feel like ruin a place where no water is. That sounds like it would be. But I kind of want to check some place I haven't been before, too. Let's go here. Oh, I forgot to check my guys as well. The road near. In a road near. In the road or taking a rest, you can't shake the words of the town hall from your mind. Follow the guiding one, collect 7 parts of wisdom, read them, and be saved. You sit by the fire, pondering the words' true meaning. Are they meant to guide or to ensnare? Why would someone curse you? Then you make a peace. Curse you when you make a piece together, a spell, and break the said curse. What's the point? What could it possibly mean? The world is changing. People are rising up against the Reapers, an eerie bewitchment, an unknown sorcerer, and darkness keeps creeping. You close your eyes, trying to remember everything you know about the previous reapings. Nothing makes any sense. It's as though a different scent is in the air. Something mysterious is coming. There's also the hand. Hey, Scribe, you sleeping? What shall we do when we catch up with Thorn? We won't be able to capture someone like Captain Brennan with our bare hands. I'm not looking to start a fight. I don't like this idea. Besides, they say drawing your sword against Thorn is a sure way to die. Well, think about it. When we catch up to him, we'll be traveling to the nearest Menhir per your advice. I'm not drawing my sword, not unless there's good reason. Whatever the case, I'll just try talking to Thorn. The man isn't so simple. What's to gain? What's to gain in being simple? I had a word with his servant, Tenor, when he was leaving town. The only thing that was on Thorn's mind is saving his daughter. Already lost his wife, and now he's got his own daughter, his son somewhere in the service. I think it's best not to stand in Thorn's way. Will Trag calm down if we find his son? Is Thorn really that good? Does Thorn have any benefactors? I'd love to know that myself. I'm guilty of the same thing as His Highness and want to capture Captain Brennan. Had to kill a toll collector near the Watchtower in self-defense. Well, at least I didn't borrow the prince. That's not the problem. If a ruler says something regrettable when enraged, he won't be taking it back. Even when he calms down, it does not befit a man of stature to go back on his word. Besides, Thorn's made quite a blunder in Albinus. So many guards dead. Is Thorn really that good? Captain Brennan is the legend of Odala. Who hasn't heard of the Mad Thorn? Maybe the best swordsman in all of Burkana, a hero of the Gabonan War, a hero of the Northern Expedition and the Battle of the Southern Isles. Although he's grown much older since his escapade, battle experience is not easily forgotten. I don't think we'll be fighting back, sword or not. If Prince Ho is still alive, of course. I hope that's the case. Not only is Thorn an exceptional swordsman, he's taught his daughter the same skills. I've seen her with the sword a couple of times, grow swift as the wind, so better talk to Thorn than cross. So it's better to talk to Thorn than cross swords. Does Thorn have any benefactors? His father-in-law is supposed to be Big Fish, but they're not on speaking terms or something. Not sure. He's with the army now, I reckon. By the way, a servant of Thorn's named Tenor sealed off his house and moved west, probably to his old master. He used to look after his daughter and then managed to outlive her. His father-in-law is Count Stakhek Fichti. Thorn's servant was out in his wagon when I saw him by the gate. He ventured into Peckham to visit the Count. The Count's a military governor now, so we're lucky to have met Thorn in Peckham if we can't find him sooner. So we'll likely meet him if we don't find him sooner. Well, we still got to catch up to Thorn. You're right about that. The road's dangerous. Saw some footprints near the spring. A couple dozen cavalry went through there just 2 days ago. The boots are definitely not Percana. They've got a strange heel print. I've seen it too. Those are the footprints of Encies. The flowing Manaz took their corpses to Albinus Watchtower, right? Should have looked at the boots sooner. Encies or not, so what? Thorn and his men managed to hack them up, right? How are we any different? Hopper, the only thing is, don't just jump into battle, yeah? Your knack for tearing down towers won't help you here. Better be safe. Don't want to upset the Cardinal. Do we deal? Attaboy. Alright. I'll see if we left anything else behind. You think hard about what you've learned. Thorn piques your curiosity by the minute. Now there's just finding him and learning how he managed to withstand that Reaper. Listen, Hopper, I don't quite get you. What are you, a healer, a wizard, or some whatchamacallit, a penman? I heard you were also a baron, without residence most likely, and you're not young. How do you get by? They don't pay you a dime, do they? I captured Princess Stein. When someone disappears, I'm the one to turn to. I may have no regular allowance, but should I find a prince, I'll have enough money to gorge myself. Should I fail, however, I'd best avoid Seg Kingdom for the next decade or so, if I want to keep my head attached. Still, I've been lucky so far. Want me to cut you in? Squinting, no siree. Percana's a bit short on princes. Besides, it's quite a long way between kingdoms, and my boots are worn and through. I'd rather stay by Albinus's gate, if I ever return, that is. The Highland Plateau. Oh wait, let's check out this. Okay, so I can't talk to anybody, it just literally gives me skill points to boost stuff. So that'll give it more damage. I don't really care about the energy cost. Yeah, so let's... Unlocks Devouring. Unlocks Taste of Blood. Alright, let's increase the damage there. Highland Plateau. A roundabout way. Long gravel, rock slides, and sharp cliffs. Leaving the lifeless Drinford village behind you, you approach the menhir of Albinus. The road and bridge are stained with blood, but the bodies have been taken away. On the other side of the bridge, near the menhir, are some fresh graves and regiment guards. One of the guards recognizes Aki and waves. Aki, is that really you? Going to Ursus, huh? Is it special assignment, or are you just heading home? Aki leaps from his horse. Where I'm going shouldn't concern you, friend. Let's just say I'm escorting someone important, a scribe, a mage licensed by the temple. The guard pushes back his helmet. Listen, could his importance maybe help us? We have orders to bury the villagers' remains and remove the abominable sign from the menhir. We've done the first, but the second it just doesn't come off. Obviously, you shouldn't touch it with bare hands, but we've already tried everything. Inspect the menhir. Talk to the guard. You squint at the Reaper's mark, which is barely visible on the stone. Tell me, friend, why are the 2 graves by the menhir? Did you ask the Gennard, didn't you bury the villagers in a mass grave? How are you going about wiping off the sign of the menhir? The guardman shrugs. With water. That's all we have. We rubbed it with a cloth on a pole, but to no avail. You ask why there are 2 graves. The smaller one contains the Albinus' garbs assigned to this menhir. The footsteps indicate that Thorn Brennan's company buried them. Who else could it be? Thorn was the last to leave Albinus. We had to disturb the grave to find out, and notice that the soldiers' bodies had been drained of blood. Brennan couldn't have killed them. If he did, why'd he bother to bury them? You shake your head. I haven't met this Thorn, but it's the NCs who drain the blood from the corpses. Some people call them abominations. Didn't you find their bodies? I guess not. They'd be hard to miss. Thorn must have run into them on the bridge. There's blood, but no bodies. He probably tossed them in the menaz. You look around once more. The footprints have been trampled, and I can't tell how many NCs there were. Whether Thorn killed them all, or there were the rest, and where their rest went if he didn't. That's just the wrong kind of there. Thorn, however, has only one way to go, to the next menhir. The poor man doesn't yet know that the menhirs won't help anybody. Keep talking to the guard. You inspect the menhir once. A mark like this won't ever come off no matter how hard you scrub it. It will glow, however, faintly until the reaping is over. It's stronger than the sign on a gate, a sacred stone. The guard throws up his arms. So what do we do? Prince Trag won't have this. He'll take this road back to Ursus. Seeing the job unfinished is bound to get him all steamed up. Then we'll have our asses in a sling. You cast another glance at the menhir and feel a strange tingling in your arm. You imagine yourself touching the menhir and the Reaper's sign flowing ever so faintly, vanishing into the stone. You realize that you're not thinking straight. With get effort, you control yourself. Touch it? I feel like I should touch it. You walk right up to the mirror and touch the sign with your hand, despite Aki's warning, and there's a flash of blinding light, and a powerful force knocks you down. You feel like you're out for only a few seconds, but judging by Aki's swearing, maybe not. The big fellow ceases his stream of profanities and sighs heavily. Ah, you woke up. We knew you didn't snuff it, 'cause you were still breathing. You slept for a whole day. Why in blazes did you mess with the menhir? To make the guards happy? The sign disappeared alright, but we lost an entire day, and now Thorn's even farther away. With difficulty you raise your feet. Your arm is somehow less black. Oh really? So maybe that's a good thing. I was foolish of me, I agree. And the sign didn't disappear. It's just lying in wait. Let's hurry up, Aki, otherwise we'll never catch up to Thorn.
In these times of trouble, you could use some of your youthful daring, for which you've been nicknamed Mad Thorn. It seems, though, that your daughter has it aplenty.
Alright, so am I back to my old crew? Yes, I am. Alright, we'll chat with these guys and then we'll call it quits for the day. Ramlin. What are you muttering, Ramlin? Sadly, I'm not muttering anything. I'm repeating Mother's enchantments, Grandmother's enchantments. What are those enchantments about? Vacantly, about healing, about leg weakness, about a clear mind and a sound memory. About fuzzy heads and forgetfulness, cowardice and weakness, bravery and strength. My grandmother knew many spells. Knowledge and control are not the same thing. It'd be great if it were easy to grasp. Maybe she did. I don't know everything. You need power, the right mindset, nimble fingers for that. Why must you move your fingers? Is enchanting like weaving woven cloth? Those who have sight can not only spot such a web, but also weave their own spinning a thread and branding it to a secret purpose. Woven and spun, the enchantment serves this special purpose. That is how it works. Did your grandmother teach you much? She taught me everything she knew. It's not enough to teach someone, though. It must be like a stone. You can spend a lifetime trying to learn how, but it's almost impossible. Are you talking about the gift that only few possesses? Why didn't your grandmother protect herself when the NCs came to the village? She could have sung the right tune. She could have at least weakened their stance. She was very old. She was almost blind. She must not have seen them. Probably stayed at home until one of those NCs killed her with a flying blade, maybe just for fun. Yes, that's how it happens. There are times when great wisdom and experience fail in the face of a tiny, very sharp death. So you need to weave the enchantments? It's done differently. You can sing, brew potions, dance like a mad dervish. You can dress the wounds with stones. Everyone does it differently. I'm a weaver, but some things I can do by snapping my fingers. Are you talking nonsense? I mean dressing wounds with stone? Let's not snap those fingers for no reason. You can snap fingers as much as you want. You can't accidentally unsheath a sword. As my grandmother used to say, I asked her the same question. Your grandmother was wise, Ramlin. Did she have a hard life? My grandfather brought my grandmother here from the Vandal Sands. She told me that he died. When he died, she started building a house. She mixed clay with manure and straw and dragged stones around. It kept her from going mad. My grandmother used to say that even if you don't know where to go, just keep moving. If you don't have a clear goal, you need to take steps that don't lead you into the abyss. Neither taking steps nor having the right goal saved her or us from the abyss, because the abyss came from above. Well, it'll be time to get going soon. Maybe my enchantments will be useful to you. You will surely be useful. If you don't run into battle ahead of me, that is. The wandering monk is always praying. He wondered what he's asking of the gods. We were just praying around with the beads back at Albinus' menhir. Were you, Vale? You've been holding us tricks. Who taught you this stuff? What's there to teach? Every monastery teaches monks about the reaping and the means of protection. So what's the reaping anyways? What makes you think the reaping is nigh? Someone told you? Or was that your own idea? Obviously it's the reaping. Even the NCs were the first signs of trouble. Who else would wear those masks? Then there was the Reaper's mark. Haven't seen the Reaper himself, but I recognize his ruin right away. The reaping is divine retribution. That's what everybody says, at least. Obviously, you say. Seems as many have yet to realize what's happening, while the temple servants knew about it all along. And how long will the reaping last? The temple servants usually don't know much, and when they do, they prefer silence. When does a dog stop eating? When it's full. The same with the reaping. Once it's sated its corpses, it begins to fade. Sated, you talk about this as some sort of beast. Maybe it's got a maw or something. The menhirs are basically the reaping's mouths. All the healings are like tree sap. A tree gets its nutrients from the soil, and the menhir's soil is death and pain. It is converted into healing energy that helps others alleviate their pain. I learned everything about the sacred stones the time I tried to cure Lyke. Not one of the temple servants said anything about remotely close to the hogwash you're spewing now. Are you sure that stuff about the Menhir isn't kind of heresy? Not that it's heresy, it's just the temple isn't really fond of such talk amongst its servants. Not many draw that conclusion anyway. You have to dig up some really old scrolls to learn anything about it after all. Say you're right, what then? It implies that for each person healed during peacetime, there are hundreds, if not thousands, exterminated during the reaping. Isn't that too much? If the Menhirs are really like trees, where does all the sap go? There must be something else, but I didn't learn anything from the manuscripts. The high-ranking temple servants didn't tell me anything. Just point fingers skyward and say that only the gods know. I don't like that one bit. What kind of retribution exterminates the guilty and innocent alike? And if it's supposed to be a shared plight, what kind of gods wish death upon all their king? It's not the gods who wish our demise. We call forth the reapers and plague with our misdeeds. Alright, I won't pester you any longer. It's alright, of course. All the stuff in the books are quite dreadful. They say the reaping is akin to a harsh winter. Every creature should hibernate, and all the grass should be perished so that they can be rejuvenated in spring. Well, what if I'm not a creature but grass? Should I perish too? Doesn't seem like much of a concern. Just some fancy words from a couple old temple books. We aren't going down that easy. Alright, doesn't look like anybody's ready to level. I do kind of want to look at our new characters though, see what they're all about. Increases your energy by 9 but takes health. Requires energy, increases your health by 6. Increases health of party member by 6 and increases your attack by 1. So you could be a healer. Inspiration increases the energy of party member by 5, increases your attack. That takes health. That's weird. So I need to just boost his energy. He's got a lot of energy, so he could heal a lot. That's interesting. Oh, I didn't want to do that. And then how about you? 2 attacks. 2 damage. Increases the attack of a party member. Deals 8 damage to energy and increases your energy by 8. Spirit armor. Increases your energy by 10 when a party member dies. Increases your health and energy when you use a card. So this guy's like a buffer then. So he heals when I use cards. He can deal damage to energy. Well, hopefully you wouldn't die. So when I spam cards, that would help him. That's an interesting character too. Not quite as interesting as the healer. interesting. Alright. I don't know. I got pretty mixed feelings on this guy. I mean, I like that he can do so much damage. But maybe I give it a healer instead. Alright, well I'm going to call it quits here for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Thanks again to the subscriber that donated this game to the channel, so we'll see what it's all about. Have a great day.